Welcome to AnimeFan Narrations, Solo Leveling, Episode 11, Chapter 62, Part 1.
This can't be real.
In front of the caves were over 20 ice bear corpses. No wonder he hadn't encountered a single bear.
What the?
He examined the bodies. All of them had marks from being slashed. Some also had burn marks. Sung Jinwoo and his group flashed in Kim Cheol's mind.
It can't be. Did those bastards do this?
No. Kim Cheol shook his head. The wounds on the ice bears were from a sword. To his knowledge, Sung Jinwoo's group didn't have a sword user.
Those two E-rankers didn't even carry weapons.
There was no way they could have survived here. That left only one possibility.
The White Walkers are here too.
His heart sank. He had thought he had escaped from those elves. Realizing he had stumbled upon another group of White Walkers, Kim Cheol's heart filled with dread. He held his breath and turned back the way he had come. Further. Faster. He needed to escape the White Walkers' territory. At the same moment, an ice bear fell with a final groan. The shadow soldiers swarmed over it to ensure it was dead.
You've leveled up.
All right.
Jinwoo was in a different bear den. It had been 5 days since they entered the gate. He had cleared 3 different bear dens during this time.
Looks like I've wiped out every bear in this forest.
Thanks to this, both his and his army's levels had increased significantly. Initially, it took 2 soldiers to restrain an ice bear. Now, a single soldier could defeat one in one-on-one combat. Jinwoo was pleased. As his soldiers' abilities improved, he began assigning them different tasks. His current limit was 30 shadows. He allocated 28 to combat and 2 to gathering magic cores and meat. With no need to fight or collect drops himself, life had become extremely convenient for the hunter.
I don't sense any more magic beasts.
It seemed he had cleared the entire forest. Then,
Is it time to go for the boss?
there was still about a month, or at worst several months, until the dungeon break. He had no intention of waiting for that.
I've got to take down that arrogant elf too.
A mere magic beast that dared to taunt a hunter. Its haughty smile still irritated Jinwoo. Kim Cheol caught a whiff of cooking meat from somewhere. His sense of smell had sharpened due to his hunger. Since entering the gate, all he had eaten in the past few days was a single rabbit. His mouth watered at the scent of food. The White Walkers might be eating somewhere.
But if there's only a few of them...
He felt confident he could handle them and steal their food. This was a reckless confidence driven by hunger.
Let's check it out.
Kim Cheol tried to silence his footsteps and cautiously moved toward the source of the smell. Eventually, he reached a clearing where Jinwoo's team was. Kim Cheol's eyes widened.
What?
The delicious smell was coming from their campfire.
How are they still alive?
However, one of the E-rank hunters was missing.
He took the lead with such confidence. Must have died first.
That much seemed obvious. But what didn't make sense was the scene before him. How to make sense of all this? Something felt off.
Wait, their clothes?
Warm clothes, blankets, tents, and other equipment caught his eye. They were clearly prepared for the environment.
How the hell?
While confused, Kim Cheol's gaze locked onto something. It was a piece of bread next to the meat. There was no way they had found or made bread here. It must have been prepared beforehand. His confusion quickly turned into anger.
These bastards...
Kim Cheol clenched his teeth. These guys had all of this and just walked away on their own.
If my hands weren't frozen, no. If only I wasn't starving. I could have easily dealt with those ice elves.
Thinking about how they selfishly kept something that should have been shared with the raid team, Kim Cheol couldn't take it anymore. He jumped into the clearing.
You bastards!
Park Heejin jumped up in surprise.
Kim Cheol, how are you here?
Honestly, he wasn't a welcome sight. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. Kim Cheol made no attempt to hide his hostility.
Our party failed to clear the dungeon because we lacked proper equipment and food. So how the hell are you sitting here with all this equipment and food?
That's...
Park Heejin couldn't answer. She feared that mentioning Jinwoo would direct Kim Cheol's anger towards him. She didn't want to betray the one who had saved her life.
From the start, I didn't like the way that man looked at Sung Jinwoo.
Park Heejin remained silent. Seeing her defiance, Kim Cheol's anger intensified.
I don't consider all of you accomplices. Who hid all this? I'll spare the rest of you.
The veins in his neck bulged.
Which one of you hoarded all this and endangered your comrades' lives?
His shout echoed through the forest. Kim Cheol realized he would have to escalate things.
I'm going to count to 3. If no one confesses, I'll hold you all responsible.
Han Sung-ye tugged on Park Heejin's sleeve.
Uni?
Park Heejin embraced Han Sung-ye. Go Myung-hwan and Yoon Gi-jung swallowed nervously, sweating. Kim Cheol was an A-ranker. Even if they all banded together, they couldn't hope to defeat him. Still, none of them betrayed Jinwoo.
1.
Kim Cheol drew the sword at his side.
2.
The hunters remained silent. How dare these low-level hunters defy him? Kim Cheol's anger flared.
How dare you disrespect me?
His eyes burned with murderous intent. He would start with this woman, the one who abandoned his team to join the weaklings. Park Heejin would be the first to die.
Yes, she must have been hiding something. That's why she left my team.
That was the only explanation that made sense to him. Kim Cheol stepped up to Park Hee-jin and finished his countdown.
3.
Park Hee-jin closed her eyes. Suddenly,
4.
something struck Kim Cheol on the back of the head, sending him face first into the ground and sliding forward a few feet. All the hunter's eyes widened.
Raid leader!
Jinwoo's punch had been so powerful his fist was still smoking. He spoke, disgusted.
Who's the one that really endangered his comrades?
Jinwoo Appa!
Tears filled Han Song-yi's eyes as she joyfully greeted Jinwoo. Note: in Korean, appa is a term used by females to refer to an older male, such as a brother or a close male friend. It carries a connotation of affection and respect.
Raid leader. Raid leader.
Though less enthusiastic than the girl, the two male hunters also welcomed him with relief. Park Hee-jin sighed, comforted by Jinwoo's presence. However, Jinwoo had no time for pleasantries.
Shh.
He put a finger to his lips. Halfway to rushing to embrace him, the four hunters stopped at Jinwoo's signal. Park Hee-jin asked,
Woo, what's wrong?
Jinwoo glanced at the unconscious Kim Cheol. The E-rank hunter was still seething with anger, feeling he could kill the man without hesitation.
Kim Cheol was followed.
Jinwoo sensed a powerful presence approaching from the forest. Now was not the time to worry about Kim Cheol. The real threat was drawing near. As Jinwoo stared directly at them, the White Walkers dropped their stealth and revealed themselves. There were about 20 of them. One stood out, a White Walker with long hair flowing down to its waist, mounted on a horse.
He's the boss.
Compared to the Ice Bears, or even the other White Walkers, the long-haired one exuded a crushing amount of pressure. If this wasn't the dungeon boss, who else could it be? For the first time in a while, a chill ran down Jinwoo's spine. While he lightly trembled at the boss's power, the boss also studied Jinwoo.
So it was true. The trash ended up being useful after all.
What did you say?
Ah,
Jinwoo had responded without thinking, surprising the boss.
you understand our language?
Jinwoo was just as surprised.
How am I conversing with a magic beast?
He could comprehend and speak the magic beast's language. Words he had never learned were coming out of his mouth as if it were his native tongue.
You can speak the magic beast's language?
Park Hee-jin was running out of things to be amazed by when it came to Jinwoo. Her question confirmed to Jinwoo that he was indeed speaking and understanding the magic beast's language.
Is this another feature of the system?
It felt like a universal translator. Jinwoo turned back to the boss, who was watching him with an amused expression.
So we can communicate, and how fascinating. There's someone I want you to meet.
The boss gestured to a White Walker behind him.
I believe you're already familiar.
Jinwoo's eyes narrowed. Yes, he knew this one.
That bastard.
It was the ice elf that had shot an arrow at Han Song-yi when their group first entered the gate. He couldn't forget that smug face. Just like back then, a sneer played on its lips.
He told me there was a strong human among you. He wants to duel this person, so...
The White Walker's sneering face was suddenly impaled by Night Killer. A scream came from the hunter's side. Yoon Gi-jung quickly muffled his scream with his hand. The White Walker collapsed. Jinwoo extended his hand towards the fallen creature. The dagger embedded in its head quivered slightly before flying back into Jinwoo's grip. Holding the Night Killer in a reverse grip, Jinwoo readied himself for combat.
Anything else?
The boss spoke, clearly impressed,
You are indeed powerful.
then dismounted from its horse. Yet the boss didn't seem eager to fight. It neither drew a weapon nor showed any signs of aggression.
However, you should be aware.
With a relaxed demeanor, it continued.
Even you cannot defeat this many.
Jinwoo scanned the ice elves. There were at least 20 of them, but their numbers didn't concern him. It was the boss's strength that mattered. The minions around the boss posed no threat to Jinwoo, who had significantly leveled up while hunting the ice bears. He had just demonstrated this by taking down a White Walker with a single dagger throw.
How should I handle the boss?
As Jinwoo considered his options, the boss spoke again.
I have an offer.
An offer?
Yes, one that I believe will benefit you as well.
Jinwoo was taken aback. He knew humanoid magic beasts had some intelligence, but he never expected one to try negotiating with a human. His curiosity took over.
Let's hear it.
The boss grinned as if expecting that reply.
But first I have a question. You are not human. Why do you side with them?
Jinwoo's eyebrows knit together.
What are you talking about?
Haha, you don't know?
The boss laughed and tapped its temple.
We constantly hear a voice in our heads urging us to kill all humans, but in your presence it goes silent.
Ah, is that it? Jinwoo had a rough theory.
The term human probably refers to hunters.
Since emerging from the underground temple with the system, Jinwoo's identity had likely shifted to a player. In a strict sense, he was probably classified differently than hunters, also known as awakened beings.
That's why he thinks I'm not human.
Jinwoo felt confident in his conclusion. Mistaking Jinwoo's expression for agreement, the boss nodded.
There's no need for us to fight. We want to avoid unnecessary bloodshed on our end.
The boss got straight to the point.
Hand over the humans behind you, then we'll let you walk away from here. What do you say? Will you accept our offer?
Instead of responding directly, Jinwoo posed his own question.
I have a question for you too.
Go ahead.
Who exactly are you? Where do you come from? And why are you targeting humans?
We are.
The boss's smile faltered for a brief moment before continuing as if nothing had happened.
There's no need for us to fight. We want to avoid unnecessary bloodshed.
What was that?
Jinwoo narrowed his eyes. The boss had behaved like an NPC in a video game, reverting to scripted lines after straying from the dialogue.
Thanks for watching Solo Leveling on AnimeFan Narrations. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for updates. Share your thoughts in the comments. See you next time.